Was a time when Garlemald too lacked a leader of conviction in the bitter cold of the north. We might never have gained the power to take back that which was rightfully ours.
You speak as if your people were the first to have been driven from their homes. Limsa Lominsa was built by wayward souls in search of a place to call their own. On the shores of Vilbrand we found it, and from those humble beginnings did we grow and flourish. And all without robbing our neighbors of their liberty.
So saith the pirate. Am I to believe that you simply asked the kobolds to yield up their lands and that they were happy to oblige you? That you did not drive them out like rats in the hold of one of the many ships seized by your privateers? I will concede that after centuries of exile, reclamation may be mistaken for invasion. Nevertheless, it is not. And those who till stolen soil have no right to object when cast out in turn.
Jesus, this guy's really hitting it hard.
Your uncompromising nature rivals that of the Ixal. They too lament circumstances which they themselves perpetuate. Were they but to embrace peace, we would welcome them with open arms. Indeed, some few have done just that, and now receive of the Twelve's Wood's bounty. Would that your people might learn from their example.
You dare compare us to the Birdmen? You who thought to invoke the 12 and threaten all of creation?
Jeez, this guy's hitting hard.
I came here in the hope of finding some speck of common ground, but I see now these discussions will accomplish nothing. Despite what you people may believe, I am not wont to choose the sword over the olive branch. 'Tis but a pity men are loath to accept one without first being shown the other.
Wait! I beg you. This meeting was supposed to be a chance to find a way forward together, not to bemoan the missteps which brought us here. Please. If you truly consider violence a last resort, there must be a way we can come to an agreement.
As Mistress Alisaie says, we did not come here to bicker over the past, but to discuss how we might strive towards a brighter future. Emperor Varys, may I suggest a short recess?
Very well. I pray this intermission will suffice to move these talks in a more constructive direction.
Okay, yes, interesting. Oh, there's an exit. Wait, I'm gonna have to fucking give you some advice, don't I? Oh, fuck! I was expecting this. I'm sure that would be happy to tell us when we I'm gonna go for this one, I don't know why. Have a look at this shit. Oh, great. I'm trying to do something about it. I have no idea where comes the ball of that. I'm fucking sick of that shit. Oh, God. Me.
Before we resume, I wish to offer you an apology. After you graciously accepted our invitation to discuss an armistice, we have done naught but rebuke you at every opportunity. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply sorry for our discourtesy.
I'll admit your familiarity with our affairs surprised me, and served to remind me how little I know of yours.
I think all here can understand the desire to reclaim one's homeland. But why expand further? That is my question.
If I may, the answer can be found in the Imperial doctrine they took great pains to impart to my people. Recognizing the threat Icons posed the world, Solus Zos Galvus decreed that they were to be eradicated. To this end, he began a campaign to unite all lands under the Garlean banner. Or so we were taught. Yet the Emperor only reached the burn, the Baron said to have been laid waste by Icons, after conquering all the lands that lay between. What is more, I am quite certain the practice of summoning was not nearly so widespread in the days before the Empire's founding.
When you put it like that, it all starts to sound like an excuse, doesn't it? But to distract from what? Why are you really waging this war?
Good question.
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer and at last accept the righteousness of our cause. My goal is this: to return the world to the way it once was, the way it was always meant to be. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more.
Oh, goody. Sensations. He's gonna look straight at me after he's looked at thing. Nope.
No longer will we suffer from the dissension born of our differences. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
Oh great, so you want to pretty much make a lot of races disappear and just make one. Man, it's starting to sound like fucking Nazis. Jesus Christ.
What in Rolga's name are you talking about?
I am talking about the origins of this star, of the source and its 13 reflections. At the instant of the great sundering, 'twas not only the world that was shattered, but mankind itself. Thus were we divided into myriad races, each with its own unique imperfections.
And so?
That is why man looks upon his neighbor and feels fear and hatred, why he wages war, why he kills his brother. You all in your own way have proven as much today. The peace you seek is but a fleeting solution to a fundamental problem. One which calls for more drastic measures. To bring about everlasting peace, our worlds must be rejoined.
Oh, goody.
That is the goal the Empire would see realized. The glorious future unto which we shall one day shepherd mankind.
Yeah, you're definitely some of the Nazis. One pure race.
A rejoining of worlds.
I have heard this tale of the Source and its reflections before.
Are these not the self-same desires as the Ascians?
Yep.
Emperor Varys, do not trust in their words. They will lead you to your doom. My father thought to use them, but in the end he succumbed to their temptations. He embraced summoning like so many other pawns before him. Do not tell us you mean to do the same.
Oh yes. A different way, I think.
To be a pawn, free from the burden of choice, would be a blessing. But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Gallian Empire was built by the hand of an Ascian.
What?
Yep. There you go, my dear.
Yes. My grandsire, the former emperor, is of their number. And who better to build an empire capable of bringing about the calamitous change we desire? Would you condemn me for this alliance? For bowing to the will of these shadowy masters, when the prize is true and lasting peace?
Oh, your prizes are I, your master of demons. I will stop you and the Ascians no matter the cost. Oh, that one's so fucking perfect. What did I say? Fuck it, I'm going for it.
I come not to conquer, but to liberate. To free man from the prison of divergence.
Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard.
An army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs. We would be the masters of our own fate. I bid you join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one left!
Do you truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
It is unthinkable! Unconscionable!
Yep.
And what is the alternative? To be as cattle waiting for slaughter? I would have us work together, that we might take fate into our own hands.
Did you do that already?
Into your hands, perhaps. But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity, you obliterate a star and every soul that dwells on it.
To the Ascians, we are all but tiny, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. We cannot hope to oppose them until we have been made whole once.
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation.
Now then, who would have the floor?
Before we...
I'll admit you're familiar.
I think all here can understand.
If I may, recognizing the threat icons... Or so we were taught.
When you put it like...
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer, and at last... My goal is this. To return the world to the way it once was. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more. No longer will we suffer. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
What in Rulga's name are you talking about?
I am talking about at the instant of the great sun. That is why man... You all in your own way have... to bring... That is...
A rejoining.
I have heard that.
Are these...
Emperor my father...
To be a pawn, free from... But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Gallian Empire...
What?
Yes. My grandsire, the former emperor, is of their number. And would you condemn me for this alliance? For bowing to the will of these shadowy masters, when the prize is true and lasting peace? I come not to conquer, but to... Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard. An army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs.
What? What?
We would be the masters of our own fate. I bid you join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
What?
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one...
truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
It is unthinkable! Unconscionable!
And what is the alternative? To be as cattle waiting for slaughter? I would have us work together, that we might take fate into our own hands!
Into your hands, perhaps. But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity...
To the Ascians, we are...
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation, even yours, Emperor Varys, is made whole through the combination of these imperfections, the strengths of one compensating for the weaknesses of another. While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others, fostering community and cooperation.
Oh yeah.
That the protector of an empire should not only reject these fundamental truths, but seek to change them at so dear a cost to life is indefensible. Such a man is not fit to govern.
And you, warrior of light, would you refuse me as well?
Oh, hell yes. I no longer become warrior of darkness. I cannot. There's not a such a
It would seem the Alliance is of one mind on this matter.
You Eorzeans never cease to disappoint me. Though I suppose I have only myself to blame for expecting more from savages. This discussion is at an end. I bid you make ready for our next meeting. It will not be at the negotiating table.